There we go. Hi. Welcome into the show once again. Now I'm unmuted. Anyway, for the first time, I think I'm the last person to ever compare T.O. to AJ. I think I'm the last person to do it. So I'm doing it right now. He really reminded me of Terrell Owens after this game because everything was hunky-dory going into this game, and now it's not. So it kind of goes like this. Phew. Woo-hoo-hoo. The Eagles win their 9th in a row. They don't lose this game on the Xavier Legette touchdown. He dropped it, fortunately. Eagles win their 9th in a row. Saquon Barkley sets a franchise rushing record, breaking LaShawn McCoy's record set in 2013. And A.J. Brown's upset. And I went back and I watched the game. After post-game, after seeing Elliott Shore-Parks' tweet with the video of A.J. Brown saying that the only thing that what's the offense got to work out? Passing. I'll play it for you, play it all for you. I went, okay, it certainly seemed like over the last couple of games, the passing game really hadn't gotten it going. It was Jalen Hurts clutch against the Baltimore Ravens. Absolutely. 3rd and 7. Perfect completion. They get the first down, 3 plays later, touchdown, and all of a sudden that was the Eagles taking control of the game. This game, Jalen Hurts had 2 throwing touchdowns, 2 passing touchdowns. One was to Devontae Smith. One of the biggest plays of the game, actually, was to Devontae Smith before the touchdown. And then he had a touchdown, the first of the career of Grant Calcaterra. What I picked up from watching the game, the extended highlights again, was AJ was open on both plays, on both touchdown receptions. AJ was open. Devontae Smith got the first one. Grant Calcaterra got the second. You could argue that AJ Brown was even more open on the second one, and nobody's made a fuss about that I've heard so far. And what I find very interesting is that the first touchdown that went to Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown is open. If it's a 3-step drop, whatever it is, if he's back, if he rocks back and then fires on the slant to A.J. Brown on the first touchdown, you could make the argument that maybe he's just sitting tight because he doesn't want to have any chance of anybody jumping the route because the safety was over the top. Is there a window where A.J. Brown was open and would have scored the touchdown? Absolutely. But I could see why Jalen Hurts won the outside route. So he took the outside route. I could also see, if you want to get into the politics of it, hey, Devontae, first game back. He's missed the last 2 games with a hamstring injury. Even before that, he wasn't a big part of the game plan. Let me get a touchdown to Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith's back. Let me get a touchdown. Bang, touchdown. The second one, Jalen Hurts throws a touchdown pass to Calcaterra, middle of the end zone. Behind Grant Calcaterra is A.J. Brown. Both were also open on the play. When Grant Calcaterra catches the touchdown pass, he becomes possessed by euphoria, and he is running through the end zone, and he's, right? Okay. He's all excited, and he should be. God bless him. Behind him is A.J. Brown with his arms down. Now, look, I'm not a body language expert, but going back and watching it, and yeah, maybe my brain was tainted by already knowing what A.J. Brown said after the game, but I'm looking at A.J. Brown, and A.J. Brown just got his hands down, and he's like, you're going to just score a touchdown. You guys just scored a touchdown. This is a happy moment for everybody. And then I look at Devontae Smith, and his hands are kind of down, and I don't know if he's down because he's like, well, now I got to deal with A.J. because he didn't get a touchdown. But then they come over, and then they pat him on the helmet, and then they get the shot of Jalen Hurts. And Jalen Hurts wasn't like, whoopity-doo, touchdown. Jalen Hurts was like looking in the direction of where A.J. Brown was, almost as if to gauge his reaction. So I thought that was interesting. Then even earlier in the game, and we'll get into this a little bit more when I let you hear from A.J. Brown, and I marked it because I knew this was going to come up. Oh, baby, that I know this was going to come up. A.J. Brown at the 2:55 mark of the second quarter. 2:55 of the second quarter. Eagles were trailing 10-7. At this point, A.J. Brown had not even had a target. Jahan Dotson had 2 targets. I'll get into that as well. But Devontae Smith had targets. A.J. Brown, no targets. I think Ground Calcaterra even had a target at that point. But yeah, Jahan Dotson, I believe, had 2 at the time. So 2:55 mark of the second quarter. He walks off the field, allegedly slams his helmet after the Eagles had a 3 and out. That was the play where it was the 3rd and 7, and Jalen Hurts overthrew Johnny Wilson. Johnny Wilson is 7'4", I'm pretty sure. And somehow Jalen Hurts overthrew him on that play. Not great. So it's a 3 and out. Eagles walk off the field. Apparently, AJ goes to the sideline and slams his helmet, according to Elliott Shore-Parks. I didn't see it personally. Elliott mentions it. And at the 2:55 mark, the cameras get A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith on the sidelines chatting it up a bit. It did not look like it was a fun conversation. It looked like A.J. was frustrated and Devontae was either frustrated as well or trying to match his energy and tell him, like, hey, man, it's cool. We're good. We got this. We're going to get this. No big deal. So after the game, if you haven't seen it yet, A.J. Brown gets caught up with by the media, as it tends to happen. And A.J. Brown says that the passing game needs work. Now, before I play that, for the people that want to say it's not a problem, I'm going to go ahead and tell you why it's a problem. Here's A.J. Brown, Thursday, at his locker, being asked about a lack of targets.
I think your targets are down like 30 from this time last year. How do you navigate that personally?
You guys are on it today.
What's that?
You own it today. This is second week. Y'all asked me something like that, but I'm cool. Like I said, I'm just trying to maximize my opportunities as best I can, and make plays.
Trying to make plays is where he's going. Okay, so that's A.J. Brown on Thursday. I'm cool. Big smile. All right. Now this is A.J. Brown. After the Eagles win their 9th in a row, Saquon sets a record. They improved to 11-2. And now this is A.J. Brown.
Offense wasn't good enough. What are some things you think that the offense needs to improve on? Passing.
AJ, I know everybody wants to get in a rhythm. And Devontae was acknowledging that, receivers, just like running backs, want to get in rhythm. How hard is it as a receiver to get into a rhythm when you guys are only throwing the ball like 20 times?
Incredibly tough.
It seemed like there was a moment on the sideline when you threw your helmet into the bench. What prompted that reaction?
3 and out.
As a leader on this offense, what's kind of your approach this week in changing the result in terms of everyone, not just you, a lot of the players on offense saying that this was just not up to the offensive standard?
Putting our hair down and just going to work, doing the things we're doing and learning and growing.
What are the conversations like with Jalen during a game like this, where maybe the passing game isn't everything you want it to be?
Not too much conversation, honestly. I don't know.
All right. I'm reminded of the Mike Schmidt famous line of the joy of victory and the agony of reading about it the next day. The thrill of winning your 9th in a row, improving to 11-2, setting an all-time franchise record in rushing, and the agony of reading about it the next day. Or the agony of listening to a wide receiver talk about success in the run game right after success in the run game. He said this week he's cool. He does not appear too cool. Now, here's what I find very interesting. After this game, or in this game, they have the little conversation, the 2:55 mark of the second quarter, where they catch A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith having that conversation. Supposedly, A.J. Brown slams his helmet. He gets right back on the field because in the very next possession, that was the interception by Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. The Eagles go down the field. They have the big play to Smitty. They have a nice scramble, 15 yards by Jalen Hurts. And then they punched it into the end zone for a 14-10 lead going into halftime, and the Eagles get the ball back coming out of halftime. That's when they missed a 52-yard field goal, unfortunately, by Jake Elliott. We'll get to that as well. But right after that play, right after that interception by Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, the first number called was A.J. Brown. It was the RPO slant route, bread and butter of the passing game that still we don't see enough. and AJ was all of a sudden involved in the game plan. That was his first target. That was his first reception, and also an 11-yard gain for the Eagles and a first down. And they ended up scoring a touchdown on that drive. Then in the third quarter, they get it going again. Despite the fact, at the end of the third quarter, they get it going again. Then in the start of the fourth quarter, that's when they had the Grant Calcaterra touchdown to make it a 22-16 lead for the Philadelphia Eagles. And as we all know by now, that's how it would end. But for me, you got him involved. You had the conversation. The passing game picked up, not tremendously. Look, let me just say, I don't think it's a huge problem as some other people, because even before this game, people are talking about it like it was some huge problem. I'm like, hold on a second. You got a quarterback that can still throw on the money in a clutch situation, 3rd and 7, or yesterday's 3rd and 13, and he gets A.J. Brown in that little comeback route for the first down. They ended up not being able to get anything on the drive, but at least they extended the drive and give the ball right back to the Panthers with all the time in the world. There are a lot of things in this game, in the passing game really, for the Eagles this season that, have left a lot to be desired. But if your run game is as dominant as it has been, and as I have made the argument, the Philadelphia Eagles having Saquon Barkley running behind this offensive line, this is the greatest duo, if you will, in all of football. This is the greatest, most dominant weapon in all of football. Taking this offensive line of Stoutland University and taking this quarterback in Saquon Barkley and having him run behind it. I made the point on yesterday's pregame show. We talk about Dan Marino back in the day. I was young for Dan Marino's first Super Bowl when he went to the Super Bowl, the second year, rookie year, I think it was. He goes in and he goes through, got to get him a run game. Got to get Dan Marino a run game. Well, it never happened. The Jets would have get the John Elway. John Elway was a big what if for a long time. Get him a run game, he could win a Super Bowl. They get Terrell Davis. They win 2 Super Bowls back to back. Barry Sanders gets a better offensive line. He runs for even more yards in his career. Okay? If Barry Sanders was behind the Dallas Cowboys offensive line, what would Barry Sanders have done? If Saquon Barkley got the Eagles offensive line, what would he have done? Well, for starters, he would set the all-time franchise record for rushing yards in a single season and do it in 3 less games than LaShawn McCoy did. That's pretty impressive. And he would be on the doorstep of the all-time NFL single-season rushing record, a record that has stood for 40 years after Eric Dickerson set it in 1984. 2107, I was crunching the numbers before the game, and I was like, what would the pace have to be for Saquon Barkley in order to break that record? What would Saquon Barkley need? He needs about 122 yards per game. He needs about 122 yards per game in order to break Eric Dickerson's record. And I'm like, well, he's got to be averaging somewhere around there. I bet you he's probably at one. He's probably at 110. He's probably averaging 110 yards per game, so we got to pick it up just a little bit. No, he's averaging 124, 125 yards per game. So he keeps the pace. He smashes the record. And yesterday, of course, he had 124 yards in the game. Not too bad. But the point is, when your running game has been so damn good, I understand why the passing game takes a hit. With that being said, does that justify the idea of the Eagles throwing it less than any other team in the NFL? No, that seems pretty drastic. Does it justify another game of Jalen Hurts only throwing the football 21 times? Does it justify that through the air, the quarterback only had 108 yards? No. Even acknowledging how dominant the Eagles' run game has been, even crediting the Eagles' offensive line and Jalen Hurts to an extent, going to Nick Sirianni and saying, hey, you know what's crazy? We have Saquon Barkley back there. Maybe we should run the football. Is that nuts? Let's do it. Even taking all that into consideration, these passing numbers are ass. Okay? They're ass. But here's the one thing that makes me maintain sanity and not want to, jump off the Walt Whitman after hearing A.J. Brown have such an about face and go from I'm cool to passing, is that Jalen Hurts supposedly had a terrible game in which he had 3 touchdowns. Jalen Hurts is so terrible that he had 3 touchdowns and was just god-awful. So his terrible game is 3 touchdowns. 2 of them passing, by the way. It's not like he had two tush pushes and then a lucky throwing touchdown or passing touchdown. So hold on, let me just get the game where he sucked. He was responsible for all 3 touchdowns. Is that what we're saying? I think that's what we're saying. Now that's where, of course, scoring is the biggest and most important thing. Would I have liked the Eagles to score more than 22 points against the worst defense in the NFL? Yeah, I would have liked it. But that wasn't, for whatever reason, in the books. Does Jalen Hurts need to improve? Absolutely. And I love the fact that after the game, he did acknowledge his own mistakes.
Yeah, I think they did a good job. I think we did a bad job. That starts with me, how I execute, and ultimately, you yearn and I yearn for better synchronization amongst that. Yearn for a more complementary style of ball in a sense. Some things don't get you until it gets you, and it's been definitely been some urgency there trying to figure it out, and got to keep climbing and trying to progress in it.
All right. Now, as specifically, my understanding is that the A.J. Brown comments happened before Jalen Hurts took to the podium yesterday, took to the microphone yesterday. So specifically, he was asked by Andrew McManus of ESPN about, hey, what do you do in this situation? Because you and A.J. have a really good relationship. What do you guys do to make sure you get on the same page? How do you solve an issue with A.J.?
It ain't about solving anything. Everybody has a reason to want more. And, it's a fair desire of being in fullness of what we can be, because we've done it before. And just got to build, got to progress, have to find a way to come together and come in sync as a unit and play complementary ball.
Okay. So they're going to be on the same page and they're going to figure it out. And it's not just about AJ, it's about everybody. I want to reach to the moment. I want to reach the idea of AJ Brown and Jalen having this great relationship where, this won't be a problem. This isn't a problem. I'm good. He's good. Everybody's good. I think AJ had that attitude leading up until the beginning of this game. Again, I'm cool this week. And then after this game, not cool. Not cool. So if they have this great relationship, why is AJ airing the dirty laundry? Now, I know I'm supposed to root for drama, especially, but it's a great season. And I said my stance all of last week, and I maintain that the idea that Jalen Hurts holds this team back from being a true Super Bowl contender, I laugh at. And actually, I'll let you hear Saquon Barkley. He summed it up rather well after the game. But I look at this and I think, okay, loose lips sink ships, as the old saying goes. And I think that's absolutely true. So it's concerning to me that AJ would have this great relationship with Jalen Hurts and then would still air the dirty laundry after the game. I was rooting for maybe if I knew this was going to be what AJ said. Hey, AJ, go ahead and take your leave from speaking to the media. Remember last year he didn't talk for like 2.5 weeks, and then finally he talked and he had a 13-minute press conference where he backed Nick Sirianni. Remember that? And he said, as I accurately predicted, I didn't have anything nice to say, so I didn't want to compound the problem. He ended up compounding the problem because then people, put out there, what conjecture and speculation, and in a way ended up speaking for him and putting thoughts and ideas in people's heads when AJ was just like, I didn't talk. I didn't want to say anything. I really wish that he would have practiced the thumper mentality of, I got nothing nice to say, so I'm not going to say it. But did he do that? No. He spoke up. Part of that is admirable. He thinks there's a problem and they need to address the problem. But everybody knows, especially this week, when Jalen Hurts has been talked about as a crutch or a hindrance, rather, for this football team. This was the time for AJ to not say anything. I find it odd that he would, knowing that he could easily have conversations on the side with Jalen Hurts and not air. You can put out the frustration after a game like this. Certainly. But airing the dirty laundry, that I don't understand. Maybe he thought he was trapped because people saw him throw his helmet. Maybe he was notified that he was caught on the sidelines having an animated conversation with Devontae Smith, and he felt like, well, there's no skirting around it. I better just address it. I wish he would have practiced what he practiced last year, which was, I'm going to take a little time off from the media, even if it was a day. Even if it was a day. All in all, yesterday's game certainly had its highs and lows. I predicted 37-10, so I was way off. The passing game really never felt like it really got going. Where there's some clutch plays, absolutely. GJ's interception really turned the tide to the game. Saquon really never broke one. The biggest run of the game came from Jalen Hurts on a 3rd and 10, where he ripped off that 45-yard run, his longest run of the season. And that was it. I was waiting for some big moments from Saquon, and there were nice moments along the way. All in all, 124 yards, looking at, 20 carries yesterday, which is not a lot for Saquon at 6.2 yards per carry. His longest run, by the way, was 18 yards. There was definitely one or two moments where you saw him get shoestring tackled, and I thought he'd actually, here he goes, going to break it, and then he got tripped up a little bit. There was one of the best runs was by Kenny Gainwell, and I think it was for an 18-yard gain where he bounced it to the outside. And me, Seth Joyner, Ray Dininger, we're all in the room together. We're all in the green room watching the game at Parks, and we're all like, "That's the ball." Oh, if that was Saquon, that's a huge touchdown run. It was in the second. I think it was the second quarter of the game, first quarter of the game, because Saquon had an equipment issue. What the hell? If there's anybody equipment that you got to keep tidy, it would be Saquon's. But that was the one play that we looked at. We were like, Saquon would have taken that one. My overall vibe of just the game and forgetting about all the off-the-field drama and AJ's feelings and all that stuff, my overall feeling was, if you're the type of person that believes in the trap games and letdown games, and I always tell you guys I try to stay out of that because I feel like that's an exclusive club. That's a players-only club to talk about. This certainly gave you a lot of fodder. Because after the Ravens win, I made a big deal about everyone being excited to come to work on Monday. Nick Sirianni was in the locker room saying, "Hey, everybody, we're going to work on Monday. Yeah, we're going to work." And everyone's like, "Yeah." No one was like, "Oh, man, we're going to work. This sucks. We deserve a day off." So I thought, all right, this team is focused. This team is ready to go. This team wants to keep on working. Good. Good for them. And then they played flat as hell. And Jalen concerned me throughout different points of this game. Seeing AJ upset, that wasn't great. For some dumbass reason, in the first quarter, first possession over the last two games, people we make a big deal about not being able to start fast, the Eagles not being able to start fast. Britton Covey and Will Shipley getting numbers called in their first possession against the Ravens. Odd. Jahan Dotson getting 2 targets in the first possession. Odd. A.J. Brown getting 0 targets in the first possession. Odd. So what the hell are we doing to try to correct the slow starts for your Philadelphia Eagles? 13 games so far this season, people. 13 games so far this season. The Eagles have not scored on an opening drive. In case you don't know, the Eagles have a week, usually, between games, which means they get done with one game and they start prepping for another. And then when they're prepping, they work all week on what they're going to do in that game to attack another team's defense, and they point out things that they struggle in, and they go, right there, we're going to get them. And they usually script like the first 15 plays, right? And then this is what we spent all week preparing to make sure that we exploit the weaknesses in the defense. Here's our best foot forward. 3 and out. 6 plays and done. 7 plays, punt. Britton Covey, Will Shipley, Jahan Dotson. Where's A.J. Brown? Derp. Don't know. Did you just have a nice 11-yard gain by Saquon Barkley? Yeah? All right, good. Now totally ignore him. If there's anything that makes me think as a whole, Kellen Moore and Nick Sirianni are just like, I don't know what to do. It's how they start games. And I've heard the argument as well, and Seth has presented this theory. It's just like, it's a boxing match. And I think a lot of people have used this analogy, But how Seth means it is, you're just kind of your first round. You're like, how are you going to react to my jab? Oh, that's what you're going to do with my jab? Okay, fine. All right, how are you going to go with my hook? Oh, that's what you're going to do with that? What about this combo? Oh, okay. All right. And then the second quarter, it's like, game on. Or third possession, game on. And that's when they actually start. I played the clip for you guys last week of Kellen Moore talking about it. And it was like, hey, Kellen, have you guys done everything you can? Have you thought about not scripting plays? And Kellen's like, we've tried everything. Help. All right, the second part of that is I improvised. But anyway, you get the idea. But overall, I thought Jalen Carter was great yesterday. Zach Bond continues to be an absolute beast. I don't know. Bryce Young, I don't know if he was spraying Pam on his uniform like they used to do in the 80s. I don't know what it was, but that should have been a safety in the end zone. Instead, it was a long drive. And yes, when Xavier Legette dropped that football, I thought for sure. And then I just said, they had actually had the play right on the field. If you didn't see it yet, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson after the game was talking about that play.
You pass the Legette like where it's inside the box.
All right. To be honest with you, I misjudged the ball. If I'd have jumped, I'd pick it. But shout out to the ref.
Shout out to the ref. And this is why.
So when you said shout out to the ref there, like
I truthfully thought he caught the ball. I'm not even gonna sit here and lie. And then when he came with an incomplete ball hit the ground, I'm like, get to live another down. But I mean, I can't tell you what if he catch the ball. He dropped it, ball hit the ground. On to the next week. That's a tough team, tough win, and let's continue to play.
There we go. All right. Well, they won. Let me tell you about the great people at the Game Time app. Download the Game Time app to your phone, create an account, use promo code FARZI, and get $20 off your first purchase on the Game Time app. Yeah, that's right. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use promo code FARZI, get $20 off your first purchase on the Game Time app. Want to go to the game, the concert, the comedy show? All available on the Game Time app. They even have tickets available an hour after the event starts on the Game Time app. And you know what that means? That means that you can save mega huge kajunga bucks. If you want to go to a concert comedy show, you might miss the opening act, the middle, but just see that headliner that you love at a great discounted rate on the Game Time app. Use the Game Time Picks feature on the Game Time app, which allows you to filter out all the fluff and get right to it. The best seats at the best prices on the Game Time app. And use promo code FARZY, F-A-R-Z-Y, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply on the Game Time app. Download the Game Time app to your phone, create an account, use promo code FARZY. How about PHL Sports Nation, Philadelphia Sports Nation, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs. That's PHLSportsNation.com. April, chat check. Good morning, April. Any decent kickers available? Yeah, I'm starting to get concerned. 2 games where he misses field goals in 4, that's a concern. 1 is like, oh, okay, well, it happens. 2 is like, 52. They did say it was more windy than people anticipated. Good morning, Wine Niners Wine. A win is a win, but I'm really concerned about Hurts' decision-making in the pocket. As am I. T-Bro, thank you. I muted myself in the beginning of the show because I'm a moron. Sean Gillespie, what's popping? Centron, what's happening? If Jake Elliott would have hit the field goal, we wouldn't even be talking about the missed touchdown. Yep, I agree. AJ's hungry? I hope so. So just feed him. Feed him. Where's his stat? Red Hot Mike. He acts like a diva chick. Where's his dad? I don't know. Problem, the Lions do both. Yeah, and they play in that dome where they're pretty damn good. Can the NFL winningest percentage coach get Hurts going? Looking at you, Pizza Hut Nick. Pizza Hut Nick. Why are we going Pizza Hut Nick? Why are we doing that? Is it because he's one of them Italians? By the way, I'd rather be called a slur than an Italian. Oh, God. Oh, man. The Italian thing. Oof. Jalen just looked indecisive more than I would like. He still handled his throws. April, I'd agree with that. Indecisive is a good way to say it. Oh, Philly Bob. Mark, Jalen is like Carson Wentz, going totally backwards. He is the weakest link on the Okay, I'm going to go with Jahan Dotson is a weaker link than Jalen Hurts. I do not think that Jalen Hurts holds this football team. I would put it this way. Has he played great recently? No. Has he been clutch? He has been. But holding him back from winning a Super Bowl, I think, is absolute nonsense. And by the way, Saquon Barkley, on that idea, Where do I have it? I think I have it. Where'd you go, Saquon? Here you go.
I don't think so. I know people are, the theme of this week probably is going to get caught up in our passing game numbers and stuff like that. But in reality, the main thing is winning football games. And however we got to do it, it's how we got to do it. And whether we're running the ball, obviously we've shown that we can do that. But this team was very successful before I came here too. Jalen Hurts was an MVP candidate before I came here too. So, and A.J. Brown is the list goes on and on and on.
So, yeah, there's some talent here, and I still have confidence that Jalen Hurts is not at all going to hold this team back. He loves Pizza Hut? I missed that. We got better than that. We got better pizza than that. Man, who cares? This is why I don't respect the fake sports media. Y'all always looking for that. How are we looking for drama when a literal player is talking about a problem that everybody else has been talking about? This is not looking for drama. This is acknowledging drama created by somebody else. My argument was he should have shut up. Anyway. I knew the receivers were getting frustrated, certainly. Jalen was terrible. All right. Without Barkley, they only have 6 wins. Hey, Barkley catches the ball. They only have 1 loss. How about that? Thanks, everybody in the chat. You guys are great, as per usual. Fox hit this morning, so more of me on Fox 29. I'll also be on with my friend Chris DeGaulle coming up momentarily. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is The Farzy Show. Make sure you like and subscribe on The Farzy Show YouTube channel. See you later.